quitarnos el personal necesario para combatir el tráfico humano.
Sheriff, you talk about like the frustration of your VA not prosecuting these cases. Have you yourself like just try to sit down with the guy and just go, listen, what's going on? What can we do to get moving on these things? Have you had to sit down with him?
Our personnel, I have not personally done it. Our personnel have tried that, and he seems to be only interested in speaking with public defenders, progressive DAs throughout the nation, Black Lives Matter LA activists, and that's about it. No other group seems to be able to get his ear, or he will have the time to sit down and meet with his predecessor, Jackie Lacey. We met every 3 months. I went to her office, she went to my office. We exchanged information, we exchanged concerns, we had lists of things and priorities, and it was a very good working relationship, and we need to have that again.
Are you going to try to maybe do that yourself, just like kind of knock on his door?
You know, we've tried everything else. We're going to try, you know, and it's funny because we share the same elevator, but he never seems to be around. I never seem to see him for some reason.
Sheriff, it's off topic, but Super Bowl related, if I may. Karen Bass, candidate for LA mayor, tweeted that there was law enforcement presence and street vendors being hassled around Super Bowl, the property around Super Bowl. Do you know any law enforcement agencies that were doing that?
That, if it was around the Super Bowl itself, that would be the city of Inglewood, and that's always been a challenge with street vending, because you want to encourage the licensed street vendors and be able to, they can, you know, do their business. The conflict happens when they go next to brick and mortar and it's the same business. They're selling the same thing. And that's usually where then law enforcement has to intervene and kind of referee the dispute and hopefully keep the people apart so the brick and mortars are not threatened by the street vendors.
Are you aware of any law enforcement agencies that hassle street vendors?
Not to my knowledge.
I would ask also Agent Lung about that as well from HSI, because your agency was kind of outed in that tweet. Do you mind?
So during the Super Bowl, Homeland Security investigations was solely focused on our intellectual property as well as our human trafficking efforts.
Were there any ICE agents that you know asking street vendors?
I think, as I would say, Homeland Security Investigations Los Angeles was solely focused on our intellectual property and human trafficking efforts.
Let me ask it a different way. Are you aware of any federal agency other than yours that did that?
I am not aware.
Thank you.
So you talked about how that's going up and doing everything possible to prosecute this case. Have you had a chance to sit down and talk to him about a particular problem that we're seeing?
Well, we're going to follow up now with when these cases are presented, and we're going to have that meeting. We'll see if he takes it. I don't know, but we're going to have to follow through because some of the obvious things that you'd expect, you can no longer expect from our district attorney. So we'll have to do everything by the numbers.
Well, that said, Sheriff, then are you exploring the possibility of going to the State Department of Justice to circumvent like you did in another case?
If I have the opportunity to circumvent because I'm not getting the necessary results from the DA, I will definitely do that.
And the charges, those who were arrested.
That generates a lot of the arrests. When you get into the trafficking part, you get into the felonies. Those are smaller in number, but obviously you have a higher misdemeanors.
So it's the Johns that you're concerned with or not, the ones that are actually
Right.
out and buying.
Yes. So again,
The ones you're concerned about that are not going to get
right. That is the huge bulk of the problem right there. Es un número indicativo del total del tamaño del programa, porque imagínese lo que está ocurriendo el año entero. ¿Okay? Sí.
Tiene recursos, dice que necesita más recursos para eso, pero por ejemplo ahora que no tiene suficientes oficiales por el tema del mandato de vacunación, ¿qué está haciendo al respecto usted? ¿Por qué no lo implementa para que haya más recursos?
Me va a causar perder más alguaciles. No me va a ganar alguaciles, me va a hacer que pierda más. Ese es el problema. Y eso es lo que la Junta de Supervisores no quieren entender.
Director of SHARP. As you heard Supervisor Ronan talk about, SHARP is a relatively new addition to the city family of agencies. We all wish we lived in a world where it weren't necessary to have an organization, but we're so thankful that we do, and for the work that Kelly Lou and her team do every single day to help raise awareness, to help fight, to prevent, and to help ensure there's accountability when sexual assault does occur. Kelly Lou.
Kelly Lou Densmore, and I'm the Director of SHARP, the Office of Sexual Harassment and Assault Response and Prevention at the Human Rights Commission. SHARP was created by survivors for survivors, as described by Hillary Ronan with her outstanding support of this office. The office works to ensure that survivors are believed, responded to, and treated with dignity by city government when voicing their experiences of sexual violence. We advocate new system approaches to address survivors never report an assault. This is especially true for survivors who are Black, Indigenous, people of color, disabled, transgender, and part of the LGBT community who do not trust law enforcement and city agencies. This case shows us how deeply flawed our criminal justice system is when addressing the needs of survivors of sexual violence. We need survivors to feel comfortable and safe when accessing services. Getting a rape kit is an extremely vulnerable experience and often re-traumatizing, as described by previous speakers. Survivors